Good day. I have with me attorney Shando Theron. He's from Johannesburg, and the question we asked him is, who is responsible for damage and death due to potholes? In the past couple of weeks, we have seen various deaths that was ascribed to potholes, and Shando is going to try and tell us who we can take who we can hold accountable for something like this. And Shando, let's start with that question immediately. Where do we go? Who do we keep accountable for this?
Well, Izak, this is what they call a road accident fund claim, a RAF claim. And part of your fuel levy is actually money that goes into the road accident fund, and that you can claim for damage to the vehicle, for loss of income, for a number of other things. But you can claim against the road accident fund if there's an unlawful death. And I think the first point of departure is who's responsible for that specific road. The road accident fund, if you're responsible, if you are successful in the road accident fund claim, a RAF claim, it is then their responsibility to get that money from the government department. But you can also sue the government department of what we do as a second respondent. So the road accident fund would be the first respondent, the specific government department would be the second respondent. Now, remember, we've got national roads, provincial roads, local roads, tar roads, dirt roads, and it's not always the same people that are responsible for them. In Johannesburg, it's the JRA, the Joburg Roads Agency, and they have been held responsible. Somebody you and I were just talking about it earlier. Somebody has been recently sued the JRA for vehicle damage and was successful. For the national roads, it's SANRAL. And you can, if your death is caused by the negligence of SANRAL or the JRA, because there's potholes and potholes that haven't been fixed and the potholes been reported, and there's a degree of negligence, then you can hold them responsible. And you can hold them responsible for loss of income, as in loss of earnings. For instance, if the breadwinner of the family has died, if the breadwinner of the family lay in hospital for a while, or there's hospital bills, you can hold them responsible for those medical costs. You can also hold them responsible for emotional damage that you and your family have suffered. And who can hold them responsible? Well, it's you as a person who's lost their income, the person's spouse. The children can have a maintenance claim. And of course, let's say this person was supporting their parents or the grandparents. They can all have a claim for unlawful death against the state or against the road accident fund. Yes, so that's the long and the short of it. You can hold the state responsible via suing the road accident fund.
And they are actually taken to task for this through various channels, isn't it?
More and more and more. You know, you and I were discussing it earlier. I mean, just in a short part of the financial year, they had more than 5 million in claims against them for, I think, medical bills and unwrongful death. And that's actually a very small amount. I think that's not much, much higher. They had more than 2 million in vehicle damage claims against them. Despite all of this, the government is spending 2 billion less per year in road maintenance, and 77% of the gravel roads or dirt roads in our country is also not up to standard, which falls under, some of them also falling under government control. So the claims are going to get more. Government's been taken to task more, and of course the money they're spending on maintenance is getting less.
So, Shando, who can file a wrongful death lawsuit?
Well, it's basically, let's say the person, let's take it in practical terms. Let's say the father, the breadwinner, is on the road, he's a sales rep, he dies, he's driving his motorcycle or his vehicle, it's a pothole and dies. First people who can claim from them is the family. Sorry, it's not the family, the executor of his estate. So let's say you come to a law firm like mine and you appoint us as the executor, or the executor of the estate is the wife, she appoints us, then we will then sue. And we will sue on behalf of anybody who's lost an income. The children, remember, the children have a right to maintenance as well. The wife has lost an income that was helping her in the household. It might be a joint income household. So she's lost that financial support, so the wife can sue. The children have a maintenance claim against the estate for their education, for their upkeep, for their maintenance, and also for the university fees, should they so qualify. Also, let's say this person was supporting the parents or the grandparents. So there's a range of people who have lost income who can then sue the state in this unlawful death. And
what damages can be claimed?
The damage that can be claimed is the pecuniary damage, the financial damage. That's an actuarial calculation where we actually look at the cost, and they'll work it out. What was the person? What would the person have earned? What raises would they have gotten? Inflation, all of that. So that actuarial calculation, you can also claim for psychological damage that you had to suffer. Those claims generally are not very big. It's not like America where you get awarded hundreds of millions. Your biggest claim here is going to be your loss of income. And then also you can claim for medical damages and a couple of other odds and ends, but those are the three main categories.
And in terms of intent and or negligence, how do you prove that? Is it possible to prove it in a case like this?
Absolutely, it's possible to prove it. For instance, if there was a pothole there, and they see that we can log into the system and we see, okay, 17 times that pothole was reported. There used to be that Fix-It app, which is not working anymore, but there are various channels to report this pothole. This pothole was reported on numerous occasions. It was not fixed, or it was fixed to a substandard level. And because of that, that is a contributory factor, a contributory negligence factor. You're not going to prove intent. You have to work on negligence here. Of course, the state will try and knock your claim down based on your negligence as well. They're going to say, oh, it was late at night, you were driving too fast, your car wasn't properly maintained, your tires were too smooth, your brakes were. So they're going to say, okay, yes, we might have been negligent, but we're only 60% negligent. And, all that, the court has then got to apportion. It's called apportionment. The court will then have to apportion negligence, and based on that apportionment, that will ultimately see how much of your claim will be paid out.
Shando Theron, he's an attorney in Johannesburg. Thank you very much for your time, Shando. We talk to you next time again.